When the cat's away, the mice will play. When the lioness away, when Amanda Nunes will play, when Amanda Nunes is away, the contenders will play. Everyone wants that title shot now. Now you even got these 125ers, these delusional flyweights, thinking that they could be the bantamweight champion, like Erin cold-blooded Blanchfield out here. I mean, she's been calling for this Peña fight for a week, which is funny because if Amanda Nunes didn't retire, she would have stayed her behind in the flyweight division and been worried about the flyweight title. But now that Amanda's retired and Peña is basically the front runner to fight for the vacant belt, Erin wants that title shot because, again, she don't want to wait for Shevchenko-Grasso because it's not going to line up with her timeline. She wants to be the youngest WMMA champ in WMMA history. And she's calling for this Peña fight because she sees that as basically like the easiest fight in the top 5. I mean, everybody underestimates Julianna Peña and they see her as like an easy target, but they're wrong. I mean, Andrade said the same shit, but yet she can't beat fighters in her own weight class, whether it be flyweight or strawweight. And of course, now because Peña got 50-43 by Amanda Nunes, dominated by the GOAT, and because her overall resume isn't completely established, people think that Peña is just this bum that any and everybody can just walk through, and that's just not the case. But here's a new statement from Erin Blanchfield. She said, "I think a fight against Julianna Peña is something that is super interesting. I don't think there's anything that I would be too nervous about. I feel like I could just go in there and just finish that fight." So she's basically saying that it would be a walk in the park. I mean, we're talking about the same person who couldn't finish. She couldn't even finish Miranda Maverick. She couldn't finish Sarah Alpar, whatever the hell her name is. She couldn't even finish Brogan Walker, who Julianna Peña coached against on The Ultimate Fighter. And she thinks she's just going to go out there and run through the Venezuelan vixen. Yeah, I don't think so, man. This is not Jessica Andrade. I mean, that was a good win, but that's literally your only best win is Jessica Andrade. Good finish, by the way, not discrediting, but that's your only best win. Before that, you've beaten cans like Molly McCann, JJ Aldrich. Miranda's actually pretty solid, but really isn't all that. But as far as that, resume-wise, that's all you got. That's all you got. As far as I'm concerned, you got plenty of work to do, honey, in the women's flyweight division. You got Mananfero problems. Why are you ignoring her? She wants to fight you in Paris. The fight is right there for September 2nd. Why don't you just take that fight? Tala Santos should come back sometime soon. What about her? Or why not just wait for the winner of Grasso Shevchenko 2? Why do you have to like be the youngest WMA champ in UFC history? That doesn't need to happen. All that matters is just fighting for the belt. But no, you wouldn't go out there and finish Julianna Peña. You would not defeat Julianna Peña. Of course, people go out there, they buy this because they doubt Peña. They ride the hype off this overconfident young girl. I mean, she has every right to be confident, but I think she's a little too confident, and she might be a little bit delusional. Like, I would like to see Erin establish her dominance at flyweight. Like, go out there, beat Manon, and then win the flyweight title against either Alexa or Valentina, which would be one of your best career wins. Beat Atala Santos, Run through everybody in that division. Clean out your division before you start talking about the 135 division, because you got work to do. You got work to do. But as far as this fight's concerned, I mean, seriously, Peña has size on you, height, length. Julianna Peña is equally as good of a grappler, equally as good of a wrestler. If anything, you say there's nothing for you to worry about. Julianna Peña probably has a better gas tank than you. And even striking wise, look, your striking isn't overly good enough to just shut down Peña on the feet. Peña may be wild and sloppy, but I guarantee she's going to connect those long, awkward punches on you. They're going to land and they're going to sting, and she could probably take you down as well. So, and yes, you got good submissions, but your best submissions is like the rear naked choke. Julianna Peña has good rear naked choke defense. I've never seen you whip up arm bars. You got a good guillotine, and Peña's been caught by that before, but it's just like, I don't know. Julianna Peña is actually pretty tough to submit when she's anticipating the submission threat. When she's fighting strikers, she gets caught off guard. But when she fought Nunes in 2 fights, Amanda Nunes was unable to submit the Venezuelan vixen. I think she'd be just fine. If she can survive Amanda, I think she'd be just fine against Erin Blanchfield. Like, if this fight ever happens, Erin's getting humbled. And if you believe that Julianna Peña would lose to Erin Blanchfield, you're delusional. Name one person in the top 5 that Erin Blanchfield beats. Does she beat Irina Aldana? Fuck no. Does she beat Ketlen Vieira? Nope. Does she beat Holly Holm? Hell nah. Does she beat Pennington? Definitely not. And the number 1 girl in the division, the former bantamweight champion who defeated Amanda Nunes, who's held her own against some of the best in the world like Valentina and Germaine. Even in losing, she's had close fights with them. She was neck and neck with them until getting caught. Do you really think a seasoned veteran and top bantamweight and former champion is just going to go out there and easily roll over and get finished by a freaking flyweight? No. Like, Erin Blanchfield, I don't want to say this, but she's kind of giving me Darren Till vibes. Like, she might be one of these young fighters who we overrate and think is better than they really are, and they get exposed, and then they just kind of fall off a cliff after. I like to think Erin has a bright future, but only in the flyweight division, okay? Erin Blanchfield is too small. I've been saying she's too small for bantamweight. She's 5'4". She's not big. I don't think her style would work in the bantamweight division. If she was in the bantamweight division, if she was an active bantamweight right now, she would not be in the top 5. She would not be successful. She's got the perfect frame and body type for the women's flyweight division. That's a division where she can dominate, where she can progress, she can grow and keep winning, and she can become a world champion for sure. Like, she could beat Grasso, she could beat Valentina. I don't think she beats Talia, but I think she could beat Manon. So that is her weight class that she just needs to stick to. Just because Amanda Nunes is gone does not mean you're winning the 135 title. And the top 5 of the women's bantamweight division is not as shitty as people think. The top 5 is pretty solid. Aldana's pretty good. Okay, that Nunes fight is not a picture of who Aldana really is. Vieira on a good night is pretty decent. Holly Holm, 41, still kicking it. Raquel is a solid veteran. And Julianna Peña is a good fighter as well. I don't really give a shit what people have to say. And again, Julianna Peña is not losing to Erin. She mauls Erin. She whoops Erin Blanchfield's ass. That fight won't even be sanctioned because Julianna Peña versus Raquel Pennington is going to be the next fight. You're not cutting the line over Raquel, who's on a 5-fight win streak and number 2 in the division. You're not cutting the line over anybody. If you want a title shot at bantamweight, why don't you call out Holly Holm or Ketlen? Try to get a top 5 win to then earn a title shot. Because again, you can't just jump from the flyweight rankings up a division into a title shot. Not happening. And now because of this, I hope she gets humbled. I hope she loses her next fight in the flyweight division. Probably isn't happening, but if she does go to the women's bantamweight division, I tell you what, she is in for a rude awakening.